Hey everyone, Nick Como here, co-founder of aiquery.io, coming at you with yet another quick video. And in today's video, we're going to talk about a newly added feature, which I'm pretty pumped about, which is AI assistance within LiveShell. So if you're not familiar with LiveShell, highly recommend you check out the prior videos. But the kind of highest of high level is it's a light reverse shell into machines, allowing you to take surgical remediation action based on the robust data that you're gathering from the queries themselves. And what we're really doing here is we're adding a different layer on top of it so you can ask AI for assistance in helping command generation. Part of the reason for that is kind of the whole concept within AI query is minimization of admin overhead as a means to optimize operational efficiency. And I think this is kind of just another iteration in that loop. And so what we're seeing here is basically you can go ahead, ask AI to help you generate commands, which we'll do right now. And we'll say list all keys under run for local machine. And that is because in a query, let's say, set the stage, we saw a persistence mechanism where they had a run under the run key for local machine. And so we want to go ahead, we just want to confirm that's exactly what we're seeing. And so we'll go ahead and we'll say get item property path, copy that over. And right here we can see this is exactly what we saw in the query, which I could show, but I kind of shown this if you've seen prior videos is the same exact one. And we can see here Kaiser Sose, PowerShell execution policy, change the bypass, and it's calling a file called bad.ps1 from the hidden recycling bin. Not great. So now that we've confirmed what we saw, and one of the other reasons I wanted to point that out, which you probably didn't need to confirm, but is also because when you're writing a query, it's HKey local machine, but when you're calling within PowerShell within a path, it's HKLM. A lot of you probably already knew that and said, yeah, obviously, Nick. I didn't, and I was like, I don't understand why this isn't working. So then I asked AI, and I was like, oh, that's why. So let's say remove registry item, property under run for local machine called Kaiser Sose. And right there, and as a reference, the reason it generates 3 commands is because there may be multiple ways to achieve something, or it may also provide contextual commands, right? Like, for instance, get a key versus a property, things like that, or in this case, remove item property or set item property to a different value. So it's trying to make sure that whatever you're asking, even if you weren't exactly specific or direct, it can try and encapsulate that. So that's why there's always 3 options. So right here, remove item property path, and we'll just copy that on over, and we'll hit enter, and boom, that should be removed. So if we want to go back and then do the get item property, we'll scroll up and we can see it is no longer here. And just like that, we've remediated it. And again, I didn't have to worry about typing and fat fingering things like I do in literally all of these videos that much because AI was helping out. So super minor, but super useful, just kind of from a day-to-day operation standpoint. I don't know about you all, but I usually have Google up anyway, just checking out commands in case I forget them. And this just makes life so much easier that I can just ask and take action directly, again, just trying to cut down that mean time to resolution. So that's pretty much the whole video. One last thing I did want to show, though, is kind of some of the different nuances between the interpreters. So what I'll do here is let me just say list free disk space as an example. And just the reason why is because like some of these commands, obviously registry commands don't exist within Linux or Mac. But here, get PS drive. I don't know about you. Again, maybe a lot of you are better at PowerShell than I am. I am notably bad at it, but I didn't know this was the command. And if I run it, boom, I get all the information around free disk space. Obviously, this is not the same command on Linux or Mac. And so we can showcase kind of how AI assistance is relative to whatever interpreter you're using. And so this is just one example. I could literally go on forever about different examples that you could go through and different things you could check within LiveShell because you're basically just on that machine, but not physically there. You're remoted into it and can do anything you can within PowerShell on that machine. But we don't have time for that. So again, just high-level examples, showcase the capabilities. We'll end the session here, and then let's pivot on over to our Linux machine and kind of showcase some of the slight differences. All right, and here we are shelled into our EC2 Linux machine. So then if we pop on over to AI Assistance, once again, same thing. We can just say check free disk space, which we just showed on the Windows side and the PowerShell command for it. But now we'll actually see the bash commands associated. Obviously, they are different, but want to kind of showcase how AI Assistance maps to whatever interpreter you're using. So right there, So even if you are a PowerShell wizard, which again, I am not, and maybe you're not as familiar with Linux, then it's useful on the Linux side. Maybe you know the PowerShell commands, maybe vice versa. I'm pretty mediocre at both and have Google open at all times, like I previously mentioned. So either way, it's helpful. But you can do a bunch of other things like, list all cron jobs. And right here, we can check out cron tab, but let's just, cat out etc cron tab, which this is a blank machine. There's literally nothing there. But if there was anything, there you go. Or if we wanted to change file permissions to execute, even if you don't know the exact file or something like that, and you just wanted to have the command to apply to whatever file you're going to do, right here is the chmod plus x for execute, or the 755, the bits, or user plus execute, and then path the file. So again, minor but convenient. And that's kind of really what we're going for here. Just making your lives easier is the whole goal of our solution. And that's where I think that this feature can be helpful in doing so. So we have AI generation for queries, and now we have AI assistance for command generation within LiveShell. So that's all we got for the video. Again, tons more examples we could go through, but wanted to show the basic gist. And hopefully that was helpful and interesting. And thanks, everyone. Have a great day. See ya.